Hello everyone, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today in Cafe Reddit we have a very particular episode of entitled parents. We have 3 stories about the Archery Chronicles and I hope you enjoy. Let's get right into it. So your son deserves my medal despite me beating him by 100 points? So this is my first Reddit post and I'm on mobile, so I'm sorry if it isn't typed great. Now, I know it isn't as mental as other posts in here, but I thought it deserves to be here. So, a little background, I do archery and I've been doing so for almost 3 years now. I have become reasonably good and once I was asked to shoot for my country. I live in the UK. I was at another club's competition shoot and I quickly noticed that there are not as many other kids of my age, 15. To be exact, there were 2 other girls who I knew and disliked. They were the popular sort of girls who looked down on people who didn't have the latest phone or whatever. And one guy, SK, for show off kid, so I started talking to him whilst I set up and recurved my bow. I found out that he's in the target right next to mine. Cool. He seems a little showy-offy, but I didn't make a big deal out of it. His mom, EM, has come with him. Mine has not, as I have a younger brother and sister, and she and my dad were trying to put some flooring down in the dining room. So they dropped me off and went home. No biggie, honestly I prefer to shoot more or less on my own. I speak to his mom a little, but the shoot begins and I have to go for my sighters. Around 2 hours later we're getting close to the end of the shoot. It's gone really well for me and I look on setting a new personal best. The targets are numbered 1 to 10, with 10 being the inner gold circle and 1 being the outer white on a conventional target. We shoot in ends of 3 arrows, 20 ends in total. This is called Portsmouth shoot. Meanwhile, SK has not been doing so well, and as I have kept quiet about my score, he seems to assume he's doing better. After the final end, the scores are drawn. Categories are split into male and female adult and male and female junior. He's called up for second place with 362 points. Absolutely not a bad score, but I can tell he's fuming. I am then called up for first place. My score is 517. I was very happy with this score. Scores are out of 600. As I woke up, most people are clapping. But out of the blue I hear someone booing, loudly and obnoxiously. Looking around I see EM, on her feet, leaning towards me, booing. I decide to let it go, collect my award and head back. After the ceremony finishes, I'm packing up my gear, and a bony hand snatches up the medal from next to me. Shocked, I look up, and what do you know, EM is walking away with it. I catch up to her, making sure my stuff is safe. Me. Excuse me, miss. I think you have something of mine. I point to the medal on her mom. EM. Excuse me? My medal, miss. Putting on that fake sweet EM voice. I'm sorry, but I think my son deserves it more than you do. He tried really hard today, and I'm sure you wouldn't mind. No, I'm not a strong guy, but I'm 5'11", so I can make myself seem so. I'm sure he did, miss, so did I, and that's why I won it. Could you please give it back? Bear in mind, I have been polite and have done nothing wrong at this point. How dare you speak to me like that? You should have more respect for your elders. I should take this just for that. She turns and stalks off. I am shocked and don't even move for a full 10 seconds. I then head to the competitor's officer and explain what has happened. He promises to sort it out and says I should carry on putting my gear away. Mere minutes later, I hear an unearthly amount of screeching. Finishing putting my stuff away, I look up just in time to see EM and a bowling SK, seriously dude, being led from the hall. CO come back and hands me the medal, explaining that EM had started saying I was lying and had stolen it from SK, despite that everyone had seen the awards presentation. Realizing she was screwed as someone came out to lead her out, she threw it on the ground, grabbed her husband and left. So there we have it. Sorry it wasn't an incredible crazy story, but it made my dad laugh when he picked me up. I have a couple more rattling stories and I might post them later. Don't worry, we will read them right now. As for the edits, it's just the author thanking for the upvotes and also thanking for silver and more upvotes, so I am not gonna be including those here. I kind of understand why the mom wants to steal the medal for his son. Maybe she's seen him train that much, but if this kid can beat him for over 100 points, then the mom must realize that this kid has also trained a lot and or maybe has a talent. So yeah, she just has no excuse to do something like that for someone that trains that hard and just wants to enjoy the sport. I personally really like archery, but I have never done it professionally, so I'm gonna be honest, I didn't quite understand the point system and the 3 arrows. Yeah, I have no idea what that was. But let's continue with this story since we still have 2 more left. You don't pay attention, you don't shoot. If you're here from my last post, first off, thanks for all the support on it. At the time it has 4k upvotes, which is astounding. Secondly, you don't need to read this as its background. So I'm a 15-year-old boy that has been shooting archery with a recurve bow for the past 3 years. Recently I have been coaching my younger brother an uphill struggle, so when my club asked me to help on the beginners courses, I jumped at the chance. Before this one, I had done 3 others, all without a hitch. There was always gonna be one. So it began normally. We had 2 groups of 4, one on each target, and 2 of the people on mine were EM and EK. I realized very quickly that EK is not particularly interested and both pay very little attention during the safety part of the course. This is probably my bad, I should have called this out, but for some stupid reason I let it go. Now in archery we have whistle signals, which we explained, to allow you to shoot. I blast on the whistle, up to the line to shoot, 3 blast, up to collect your arrows, simple. We also have an emergency command, which is the word fast. If there's anyone on the shooting line when we are up to shoot, we go fast. Procedure for this is that you lower your bow and put the arrow back in the quiver. Once safe, we shout clear, which is more effective than a whistle in this sort of situations. So we've been shooting for about 20 minutes of a 2-hour session. We go up to a line and EM and EK have just loaded their bows when we hear fast. Turns out a guy was still behind the target collecting an arrow, and we didn't see him when the whistle was blown. Okay, most people have replaced their arrows and are waiting to resume shooting. Then I look back at EK and EM. They are drawing back the bows. I panic. Me, fast! Lower your bows! They both lower the bows and EM looks pissed. What? I point out that fast means you need to lower your bow and return your arrow to the quiver. I then point out that there's still someone on the field. It was actually indoors, but we referred it to as the field. And that they couldn't shoot. She huffed, but they put the arrows away. We had 2 more weeks of the course, and throughout EK has been a pain in the butt, running around the field, which is not allowed, and also messing with the stuff of others, which is not allowed for obvious reasons. EM has been a general pain as well, being arrogant and snarky, quite obviously thinking that she was better than everyone else. She paid very little attention to her child, me or the other coaches, and as such her shooting was really a bit dangerous. In these weeks we had safety drills to ensure they knew what to do when pass was called. EM and EK failed every single one. Because of this, we couldn't let them pass the course. So the certificate presentation comes. We have certificates for everyone, but the ones for EM and EK will not allow them to join us or any other club. EK does not seem to notice, but EM is immediately furious. She walks up to me and gets right up in my face. What do you mean we can't join? We paid good money for this. The head coach, HC, intervenes. Mom, I'm sorry, but we can't allow you to join. Yours and your son's shooting has, quite frankly, been dangerous, and you have not paid any attention to the safety drills. EM's eyebrows shoot up so far up that they almost disappear into her hair. It's not our fault he, OP, didn't teach us properly. You will let us join or I'll be getting a refund. At this, HC takes EM and now crying EK, he was only 7, outside to talk to them. The other beginners begin to pack away their bows. When they return, they pack away quickly and leave just as fast. No thank you, and they left us to put their bows back. Fine. But this wasn't quite the last we heard from them. About 2 weeks later, we get an email from another club, OC. Turns out EM and EK had tried to join them, insisting that they had passed the course with us. OC realized something was up when he told them he would have to email us and confirm it with us, and they started making excuses, saying we were biased, stuff along those lines. Anyway, we told them they had not passed their course. OC thanked us, and we didn't hear any more from it. I'm very aware that this isn't quite as good as my last one, but I'm not gonna make things up just to get more out of this story. Don't worry OP, I quite enjoyed the story, I hope you guys did as well, and honestly I had to stop the recording several times when I read about the eyebrows going so far up that they will go into her hair. To some point I can understand entitlement. I've never come along with an entitled parent just like in these stories, but in this case they are risking people's lives. I know that they probably wouldn't kill anyone and they don't intend to, but it's so dangerous and they need to be more careful with it. Now let's go with the final story of the trilogy, Return of the Archery Thief. Okay, so honestly I didn't expect to make a follow-up story to the Medal Snatcher quite so soon, but recently, about a week or two alone, I went off to shoot at another club competition. It's a reasonably popular one around here, so naturally there was quite a lot of people here. Now, I had yet to have time to see the target list, shows the positions and the archers, so imagine my shock when I see SK and EM when I walk in. It was like something out of Jurassic Park. I stopped dead, hoping they would not see me. Of course, that didn't work. Her beady little entitled eyes fixed upon mine, staring deeply into my soul. Fortunately, I was in this competition, unlike the last time, with my dad and 2 siblings, so she didn't dare to say anything then. She continued to give me dirty looks though, so I signed in and proceeded to set up my bow and head to my position. When the shoot begins, I have heard nothing much from them. However, I can hear EM badmouthing me to everyone around her. Bear in mind, I was 6 targets away, a fair distance, yet I can hear every word as clear as day. Essentially, she's saying that I am selfish and rude and that I cheat. How on earth do you cheat on an archery competition? I don't know. And also that I verbally abused her son the last time she saw me. For his part, SK is keeping out of this one. I let it be. I told my dad and my siblings, who can also hear her, and let it be. They do not like this, but agree not to say anything about it, and let me deal with it when it comes to it. Most of the people there know me anyway, so they know EM is talking out of her, but the shoot finishes. I have not done as well as I would like to, getting 496 points. I wanted to break the 500, but it turns out I won anyway. This time, EM keeps quiet during the ceremony, sitting. Happy ever after, right? No. As I grab my bag to leave, EM storms up to me and gets right in my face. She starts screeching at me how I'm cheating, how her son should have won, how I should have been disqualified, etc. I let her finish her spiel. As soon as she takes a breath, I say, well, SK might have been able to concentrate better if his mother hadn't been bad-mouthing people behind him, distracting him. Never has the phrase, her jaw hit the floor, been more apt. She starts spluttering, trying her best to form a response. I turn to the door and walk out, feeling like I'm in cloud 9. I'll let you know what SK scored when I found out if you're interested. They didn't announce the scores at the ceremony and they haven't released the results yet. Yeah, this story was just 1 day ago and people are really asking for the scores, so I imagine that later on the OP with will edit this course in. Now I hope you enjoyed this video. It was slightly longer than the other ones, and if you enjoy these stories like with the same character, be sure to let me know down in the comments and by hitting the like button. And I would like to thank user/squeezyboi for sharing these stories. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, and see you in the next episode. Stay chilly.